resource and understanding that you need to develop it. It can be cooking, vikendi. Kunoita mari nokubika. Kunoita mari nokubeka makekes. Shanda nezripo, shanda nezvaunazo, but it requires you to actually have an understanding of what do you have, which is why I need to encourage people to actually do an audit of your resources. Your resource can be social capital. You know social capital? Kugona ufona someone agaudera, kugona watchama, let's do lunch, I don't know where. Learn to monetize relationships. Learn to convert relationships into business. Learn to develop contacts that you can convert into contracts.
Let's go to a door.
You see, chances are high that we to a rombe. Ito my contacts are not develop and upgrade. That's why I don't want my parasitic relationships. I think we made this point last time. Yeah. Run away from parasitic relationships where your duty is to be praise and worship. Mbinga. Uchimba kwaya kapusa udaro. Dopa druti weekend somewhere. Learn to understand that you need to build your social capital, and once you build your social capital, it becomes a resource. Mukoma zuri say ndudo asuna mari. Ndudo just want two ideas. Chicha ndogona kuita. Develop. Right now kuna mona ne phone book rinokuchikisa in terms of the quality of contacts. Nikiti naye anoona to mbipa katodaira so right now unosendera high mukoma zuri say right now ngozati muri say but hauna zvori kuita nema contacts ewawo. And one of the things that I encourage people, if you want to grow, don't ask money from people. Ask for ideas. Akuna munhu anobowa like a grown-up man who is a beggar. Anorwadza munhu iyeye. But pane munhu anonakidza weekend. Ukuthi kana takuita lunch, I want you to pay. Didn't do that favor, I have to pay for the lunch. But most importantly, lunch here is a kudya ndiyo kuti ndidzidze. Nzvimbo yanga ine madiamonds akasvika pakuvigwa. Nzvimbo yanga ine madiamonds. I think you know that.
Yeah.
Svika watozonzi no, ndara. Pamakarigwa apaka apasipo. Pane mari. Because all their lives they were just doing farming. They didn't actually know kuti muzasumu mune mari. A number of us were so rich, were so wealthy, but we don't know how rich we are. We don't know how wealthy we are because we are not aware of that. Which means it becomes very important for you and me to focus on awareness, discovering the things that you already have. And this is a point that we need to stress. There's a difference between having resources and being resourceful. So having resource does not necessarily mean you know how to use the resources. That's why Africa, rich as we are in terms of our natural resources, we also have got shocking levels of poverty. We process plant. We don't even process platinum. We just mine it, we sell it. We just mine gold, we sell it. Why? We are not being resourceful to the extent that we can actually say, we can actually create jobs on this. And this is the reason why a number of people are not kuruzeva and hakuna mari. Yet kuna resource which many people don't even have called land. We don't know how blessed we are in terms of resources, which means we need to focus on the first level, which is the awareness level. If you read the Bible, I go to church. The question that God was always asking every human being is, what is in your hands? Remember Moses?
Yeah.
What is in your hands? And remember Elisha, when he goes to that widow, he says, what do you have in the house? And what Elisha was simply asking for was that resource. Chicha unacho, vikendi. Chicha wakabata. Right now you've got an amazing resource. You've got an amazing voice. You're so talented. That's a resource. But what's going to transform your life is knowing how to use that particular resource. So a number of people right now, Tinema resources, yet we're stuck. Which is why I'm saying, guys, let's learn to work with what we have. Have a you in maths weekend. But one of the greatest resources I know that zvivindi.
My guts.
I'm not tall, I'm short. And a number of people think when they meet me in person, they're looking for this big guy. I'm just a very small guy with big confidence.
Yeah.
Resource. No resource and deny. Could I can go on stage? Ne you yangu on maths, ne C yangu in English at all level, C yangu in English at A level, third class university communication skills, and I'll go and speak in English. Jan this is national certificate. We need to all become very deliberate, very intentional about having conversations with ourselves and having the understanding that we all have some form of resource. And that form of resource is not always in money. But if you understand how to use that particular resource, it will give you money. Which is the reason why I'm always telling people, don't make money your pursuit. Make self-discovery your pursuit. Once you discover who you are, the world will discover you and the world will pay you for being who you are.
And your gift will make room for you.
That's what the Bible says. A man's gift will make room for him and place him in front of great men. It doesn't say a man's PhD. It doesn't say a man's dissertation, a man's thesis. It says a man's gift. Meaning each and every one of us, we have got some form of gift.
And it's so sad that if you're to have a conversation with people, they have the excuse card, but as you said, even in the Bible, the angel or whoever during that encounter would ask, what do you have?
True.
Because we all have something.
We do.
Wow.
Right now, voice rango, one of the greatest assets I have, weekend, is my voice. So that's why until I flew, I don't want anything because it's very costly. Ditori capital and Ditori popara. Ditori capital. Channel for with a weekend and go say again here. I'm saying, Ditori capital. Because I'm going to court. That will be done now. Because Ditori capital, Ditori neka asset, Ditori neka resource. So what is a resource? It can be a gift, Vikendi. Right now, Jab Fraser making thousands of dollars. I get some very interesting figures he charges per hour.
Yeah.
Just to have him on stage. Winky D, he charges some money. It's not he makes it in an hour. Just to perform. And you'll be shocked at the amount of money some people are just being paid to enjoy themselves. My warriors, congratulations guys. My win up again. My warriors, Magan's budget close to $1 million, split per around 20 something people, for them to go and run for 90 minutes. Of course, also you go up. But the point is, gift, the talent is making some people real money. This is the reason why, if you're a parent, one of the things that you need to focus on is to discover your kids' inclination, your kids' talents, your kids' passion, and your kids' direction. Because no future action, no mad. In fact, God's plan, weekend, is for you to make a living and to make lives through your gifts. But a number of us, we pack our gifts, we pack our passions, we say, and guess what we do? We surrender it and we look for a career. So, take advantage of a gift. Take advantage of your talent. Take advantage of your skill. Do you know right now, but understand out.
That's true.
But one understand out. Waka wano shamarara. First one is my DJ. Bakawanda, get what I'm saying? Why? Because you identify, you're aware of the things, of the resource that you have. And the next thing, just being aware is not enough. You need to develop it. Become so good at it. Become so refined at it. No, I was just doing some research. They actually say if you want to have Beyonce on the stage, you need 1 million. Just 1 hour. $1 million. Barack Obama, former US president, if you're going to have him for 1 hour to speak, $400,000 just to speak. $400,000. The wife just around $300,000 just to speak for an hour. What are these guys doing? Resource, gift, skill. Refine your gift, your skill. So a number of times we don't want to take that risk to actually discover, develop our skills. Don't want to do. We end up surrendering the gifts, the skill to someone else. We end up making other people rich because of your gift, your skill, and your abilities.
Could it be that some people are actually not aware of their gifts or their purpose? Could it be that?
Very true. Very, very, very true. This is the reason why I'm saying the first point is actually awareness. Do you know what you have? Do you really know what you have? A story is told about a certain farmer. He decides to sell his farm because he thought there was more opportunities elsewhere, and he says, no, let me go and do farming of this particular crop. And when he sold his farm, he gets the shock of his life. The guy who bought the farm actually discovered there was oil on the farm. And this guy had been farming on that area for over 50 years. A number of us, to know guaranteeing us how rich we are, how blessed we are, how resourced we are. Right now, Switzerland is one of the biggest producers of chocolate. By the way, it's very expensive, Swiss chocolate. Yeah. But you know, they don't farm cocoa in Switzerland. You know, from Africa. Japan doesn't have iron ore. Right now, Japan is one of the biggest producers
Value addition
of vehicles. Why? They understand Atina do iron ore, but we can understand and take it from where it is closer the skill yatinayo. And guess what? We give Africa, one of the countries, Zimbabwe, close to $1 billion in exports of ex-jobs. And once you understand this, you know, go back to realize that you can actually be broke on my resources as long as you don't know what to do with them. Right now, one of the biggest dealers in terms of diamonds is a country called Belgium. Belgium is by far, very small to Zimbabwe. But Belgium's GDP is actually all of us in Africa combined.
No way.
Yes. So, your resource can be a gift, it can be a skill. If you can sing, Vikendi. Imbo kazvinemsoro. Imbo zvoto no invite kuma Grammys. Imbo zvoto no play kana pa Trace Eben, Trace whatever. Imbo zvokuti talent yako inonzwikwa. You know, one of the guys that I really respect sometimes is Knox. You know Knox? Knox, look at how he has penetrated the African market. Look at your dish and so forth. That's real aggressive. I need to position it at a level where I can make it internationally exposed. Being resourced and being resourceful. We need that. And imagine if we can have more and more people like that. And one of the things that I want you to notice is how deliberate and intentional Nigeria has been insofar as music is concerned.
Very true.
Now, you can actually have the entire day listening to Nigeria music. And look at the quality of their videos. You don't even know what they are singing. They are singing their native languages. But I'm a baseline. And the next thing, why? It's understanding a resource and understanding that you need to develop it. It can be cooking, Vikendi. But it requires you to actually have an understanding of what do you have. Which is why I need to encourage people to actually do an audit of your resources. Your resource can be social capital. You know social capital? Let's do lunch. I don't know where. Learn to monetize relationships. Learn to convert relationships into business. Learn to develop contacts that you can convert into contracts.
Not to go to a door.
You see, chances are high that we to a rombe. Ito my contacts are not develop and upgrade. That's why I don't want my parasitic relationships. I think we made this point last time.
Yeah.
Run away from parasitic relationships where your duty is to be praise and worship. Mbinga. Uchimba kwaya akapusa kudaro. Ndopa kuti weekend somewhere. Learn to understand that you need to build your social capital, and once you build your social capital, it becomes a resource. Mukoma zuri say ndodo asuda mari. Ndodo just want two ideas. Chicha ndogona kuita. To develop. Right now kuna mona a phone book or rinokuchikisa in terms of the quality of contacts. Nikitinaye ando natombipa katodaira so right now unosendera high in koma zuri say right now ngozati say but hauna zvorikuita nema contacts ewawo. And one of the things that I encourage people, if you want to grow, don't ask money from people. Ask for ideas. Akuna munhu anobowa like a grown-up man who is a beggar. Anorwadza munhu iyeye. But pane munhu anonakidza weekend. Ukuthi kana takuita lunch, I want you to pay. Didn't do that favor, I have to pay for the lunch. But most importantly, lunch here is which is why if you're going out for lunch and networking and the focus is you're ready for failure. You don't go for lunch for food. You can always cook at home. You go for lunch because you want a different setup. You want a different environment. So, your time is also a resource. What are you doing with time? That's why they say time is money. If you doubt that time is money, try to advertise on Star FM without money. I don't know.
I'm like 30 seconds you have to pay.
You have to pay. It is called the air time because it's a resource. Time yako ngaishande. And each and every one of us weekend it's in a time. And the question is, what are you doing with your time? For other people, they monetize their time. For other people, they want time. What are you doing with the time? Then strength. Simbajairo is a resource. And don't generation we are broke, beautiful, and very lazy. Do you know what a good life? Not BNB, broke and beautiful. So we need to get to this point weekend. Pano pada manyo takufana kushanda. If it means Zuma manual jobs for me to be able to move from point A to point B, I'm going to do that. So it's a resource, your natural abilities. There's certain things that you don't need to think about before you can do 1, 2, 3. Those abilities, that's a resource. So I want people to get to a point where they begin to understand your natural abilities, your strength. Then There's a common resource that we have. Zimbabwe by size is over 300,000 square kilometers. That's how big Zimbabwe is. If you've got 100 meters by 100 meters, which is it a hectare? I think something like that. You can do something with your life. 1 hectare. Why? Because we're labor. But Marisha, it's in our land. Right now, we can own a small piece of land. Go now, ching a road runner. A road runner, I don't win the DD. No, what if real? I don't know. Fraud Zoka. What do you think? Like a restaurant for $10. Doctors, you know, sing at the capital. I'm going to get my business and here and the capital. By the way, I could have not asked capital. And a weekend down at Chima, but at 10,000. People don't like giving poor people money.
That's a fact.
In fact, banks, if you go to a bank and say, guys, you need a quarantine now, guys, don't know, can 1,000 out of question when my title deeds, because also that it's okay. If you want to grow weekend, be willing to step out of your comfort zone. As United Souls, you can wake up on Twitter, shout all you want. You can even go to this video, shout all you want. But now with the news, a lot of people go every day. Weekend, akuna munhu arikuyazoti weekend omari chinja upenyu wako. Life doesn't work that way, especially if an adult. Indakaona imwe positions, guys, virus iri kungochinja, iri kungozvi-upgrade. Iwo chimbozvi-upgradeawo. And I thought it makes sense. Yakatanga ichinzi Delta, Omicron, upgrade yourself, improve yourself, make yourself relevant. And once you do that, you improve even your level of resourcefulness. Do you know right now, Munanele Reserve, especially if you are close to my cities, you can make money in Mbare. Kofu. What you see me? Alternatively, the routing iPhone, what do you ball? We say a few solar panels, what did it? Unora Rama. But on according to that luxury, without the sacrifice that will lead to luxury. That's the reason why on Uganda we're broke. Alternatively, my rituals are put on the man. Next, do you know your spare bedroom can actually be a resource? There's something called Airbnb. $50. What if I know right now? Zinga Maroja Mzimba. What do I my Airbnb? Just because the application got ready, Karotoshanda, but I'm not to the room go for a night. What about Mari? The vehicle that you're not using is actually a resource. And you'll be shocked right now, when these two organs are motor is a sign of success. And you don't know that these things are actually liabilities, they're not making money for you. An asset is something that makes money from you. A liability is something that takes away money from you. And once you begin to understand that, it's going to help you. And the next point that I need to stress after awareness is you actually need to learn to value what you have. A number of us, we're always downplaying the value of what we have. It's not Shanda Eresh. It's not Shanda Eresh. Weekend, if I'm going to look at you 5 years from now, at that same microphone, we should be talking a different story. You're holding power. You're holding value. But Momunano occupy a position of power, of influence, and they don't even turn that influence into business. Because what you have is valuable. And the person who is to see that value is actually you. And once you begin to understand that you need to learn to value what you have. I like what Malcolm B. Forbes says. Malcolm B. Forbes was a grandson to the guy who established Forbes magazine. This is what he says. Too many people overvalue what they don't have and undervalue what they are. That's what we're doing. We're overvaluing what we're not. No, and this, I'm not tall. I don't have a strong voice. You're amazing. You're amazing. And once you begin to see the amazing that you are, begin to use it. So resourcefulness by definition involves optimizing what you already have. Make the most of it. That's being resourceful. What do you already have? You know, I was talking to Sogostina Temepera about how I started writing my books. Then I got an idea, then I developed it. Now I'm on 20 books. The next thing, last point, learn to be creative. One secretary I saw at my before my computers. She decided to mix nail polish and flour. She came up with Tipex. Creativity. Gillette Corporation bought that business for $30 million. Just using the things that are there. And certain guy mixes cola nuts, cocaine, comes up with a drink called Coca-Cola. John Pemberton. Now they make over $100 billion every year.
From an idea.
Yes, just an idea.
Light bulb moment.
Simple.
Wow. And